and move on. We're going to have to learn from this game because we did a great job in a couple of last possessions getting stops one-on-one, but we also had some breakdowns. We gave up a slip. We gave up some – I gave up an offensive rebound from not getting back in. So those things we got to get better at.
Grant Williams, thank you.
Thank you.
Roy, back to you.
Big Orange and Big Blue headed your way Saturday. What a game it will be. 73-71 the final score. UT the big winner as we send you to Nashville. Welcome to the Music City Memorial Gym. Vanderbilt in Florida, anxious to get this one tipped off. We welcome those of you who are watching an entertaining clash in Oxford, Mississippi, as the Tennessee Volunteers hold on to win one on the road, still very much in contention for an SEC championship. Mike Morgan, Barry Booker, plenty at stake here. The Florida Gators, one of the hotter teams in the Southeastern Conference, trying to make it 5 in a row. And the Vanderbilt Commodores trying to avoid bad history, looking for their first conference win of the year. Gators in blue, Commodores in gold. Kayvon Allen, who has been smoking hot for the Gators here of late. This is Johnson, one of 3 freshmen in the starting lineup. Dipsy Duke can't get it to drop. And Vanderbilt comes away with a rebound. It's Chateau, the leading freshman rebounder in the SEC. He is joined by Saban Lee, the sophomore, Matt Ryan, the transfer from Notre Dame. Neesmith, very talented freshman out of Charleston, South Carolina, finds an open Matt Ryan, who misfires on the 3, and a foul down low. By now you know the story on Vanderbilt. 15 consecutive losses overall, 14 in conference play. But Barry, that really doesn't tell the entire story, because that man Bryce Drew and company, they have led a team that has hardly quit at all. They've been very competitive in games this year.
No, they are really playing hard. I've been here the last couple of days to watch Vanderbilt go through practice just to see how together they are. They're still giving that effort, and this team absolutely is fired up to play basketball. They're continuing to work at it, and all the signs that show that the team is still playing hard, playing together, are there for Bryce Drew's club.
You get the feeling they're going to bite somebody. You just don't know who it is. Bryce Drew now in his 3rd year at Vanderbilt, and of course the season derailed rather early on when Darius Garland, a top 10 pick upcoming in the NBA draft, went down with a knee injury early. Here's a 3 from the corner by Allen, and an offensive rebound for Hayes. Nembhard 3 straight away, and he knocks it down, the talented freshman out of Ontario, Canada.
Great hustle by Florida to get that extra possession and get the open shot. Florida got a couple of good 3-point shot attempts on that trip. The Gators do most of their damage from 3-point range.
Yeah, neither one of these teams shoots the 3 particularly well from an efficiency standpoint, but they both like to shoot them. That'll work. That's just 2, but Yanni Wetzel, who got the start today, scores the first points for the Commodores.
Both these teams similar. They both really struggle to score. Florida has that man inside, Kavarius Hayes, who has been a big addition for this Gator club, playing really well inside since the injury to Keith Stone back in mid-January.
That's on the feed from Nembhard, who averages over 5 assists a game. Mike White telling us he really, if some of his guys were to finish better for him, he could be averaging over 7 a night. Been that good of a distributor this year for this Florida offense. Air ball fired up by Vanderbilt. Mike White trying to make it to his 3rd consecutive NCAA tournament. Florida hit a rut. They lost 3 in a row, although when you look at the 3 teams they lost to, hardly anything to be ashamed of. But at times this team seemed rather disconnected. Now, whatever was plaguing them earlier seems to be out of the way.
It was the seniors for this team. Kayvon Allen, Jalen Hudson weren't playing very well, but they have gotten it going lately, especially Kayvon Allen has become the leader of this club, has played some clutch basketball in a couple of games for the Gators. These guys have played their way into the NCAA tournament.
Saban Lee, the foul. Nembhard to the free throw line. Talented freshman out of Ontario, Canada, a young man who could have gone just about anywhere. Came down to Florida and Stanford. His father is a coach back in Canada. And I remember talking to Mike White last year about this kid and how excited he was about the addition of Andrew Nembhard to the program.
It's interesting talking to Coach White about Nembhard. Interesting that Coach White said he says he has meetings with his players daily, individual meetings with all of the players each day. He's talking to Nembhard earlier in the season, talking about all the noise, the speculation that he might go in the NBA draft, and realized that was just fruitless, that Nembhard wasn't paying any attention to any of that kind of noise.
Reach-in foul. That'll be on the freshman Keontae Johnson. Again, the Gators trying to pick up their 5th consecutive victory. Vanderbilt looking to snap that nasty 15-game losing streak. Florida right now, the metrics, 2 big wins at Alabama and at LSU recently have changed the tide of where this season is right now. A lot of people were starting to count Florida out, but they have put it together at the right time of the year. Neesmith on a 3, the talented freshman. Boy, he could fill it up in a hurry.
Yeah, he is extremely talented. A highly rated recruit who sort of dropped under the radar because of the rating behind Darius Garland and Simisola Shatu. But Aaron Neesmith has become the scoring leader for this club, an outstanding perimeter player.
And a close loss to Florida in Gainesville. He set a career high with 26 points in that game. And now a turnover. Steps on Kayvon Allen.
An impressive move by Aaron Neesmith off the dribble. He is such an explosive scorer. We've seen Vanderbilt take a couple of these 3-point shots off the dribble. And those are tough shots, but Neesmith made it look easy as the Commodore streak of making a 3-pointer in every game since the 3-point rule was instituted in the 86-87 season. The streak continues.
I've been counting every day. That's 1,059. Nembhard all the way. The only other schools to hit a 3 in every game, by the way, UNLV and Princeton. So just 3 remaining all time since the 3-point shot was adopted in 1986. Here's your water cooler fact of the day. Gators up by 4, under 16 to play. Nembhard already with 7 points to lead the way. Foul down low. That'll be against Florida. And Vanderbilt will have it when we come back. 15:44 to play. The Gators are up by 4.
Everybody do your part tonight. Everyone in this room, whether you're a coach, manager, player, on the court, on the bench, you have a part to help us win tonight. We are yet to put it all together where all of us play how we can play on one night. Tonight is our best. Let's go win this first segment, and let's set a tone that we're going to win segments this whole night. All right, let's go.
Bryce Drew is fired up. So are we. Barry Booker, Mike Morgan, great to be with you here in Nashville. Barry, we've talked about it before. This has obviously been a treacherous season thus far for Vanderbilt. But you and I have been around this league and basketball long enough to know sometimes a team just quite frankly quits. They can't wait for the season to get over with. That's not the case with this Vanderbilt team.
Yeah, and it's surprising that a team that's 0-14 is working as hard as anyone in the league. They are as excited to come to practice and try to get ready for games, and they are sticking together. I think this experience, I was in the film session with Vanderbilt yesterday, and they spent a lot of time talking about what they can learn, how they can grow from this difficult experience of this 15-game losing streak. And the Commodores, absolutely, they lose their point guard, Darius Garland, and that has just devastated this club. But they are talented, and there can be a very quick turnaround for these Commodores next season.
And again, they do have some talent on this team. This is not like a rebuild. Neesmith and Shatu are 2 guys that might be playing at the NBA level in due time, and they both put together very quality freshman seasons. They just have not had a true point guard, and that's where the loss of Garland was so crippling. Inside to Hayes. Hayes goes to work down low. Little hook shot. He got it. That's something. Kavaris Hayes, maybe as a freshman, sophomore, junior, that was not in his bag of tricks, but as a senior, he stepped up his play.
Man, that was a difficult shot. You saw him extend that basketball away from the defender and still able to flip it home. Very difficult maneuver. Kavaris Hayes was able to execute.
Hayes altering that shot on the defensive end. Allen on the push in the front court. Around the screen, takes it all the way. Bumped it bodies with Wetzel, and he'll have a trip to the free throw line. Kayvon Allen is a young man. When you saw him as a freshman, I mean, he was already an advanced player, and you said, boy, by the time this young man is a junior or senior, you could be looking at an All-American. It hasn't worked out quite that way, but you got to give him credit, because when he was struggling this year, as you mentioned, Barry, when they needed to turn it around, he stepped up.
Yeah, he has played so well these last few games. And the game against Ole Miss in Gainesville, when Florida needed a basket, needed a three-pointer to force overtime in that game, Kayvon Allen was able to deliver in that situation and then made a great hustle play in overtime to help the Gators get that win. This senior has really stepped forward and provided leadership for these Gators.
Allen, the league's leading free throw shooter at 89%, gives the Gators a 6-point cushion.
Not an up-tempo team, these Florida Gators, so expecting this to be a low-scoring game, but the Gators have come out and played well early in this ballgame.
Good move there by Simi Chatou, the freshman, another Canadian, and a couple of Canadians featured in this game. Chatou averaging 11.5 points a game. And Mike White telling us he would like to play faster, but they don't have a whole lot of depth, particularly with the loss of Keith Stone, and they play so many minutes tagged on these young freshmen. Didn't affect Jalen Hudson there. He comes off the bench, the senior who's been streaky this year. Anything you get from Jalen Hudson is a bonus right now.
For Vanderbilt defensively, Florida wants to score from three-point range. The Commodores have to get out to those three-point shooters and not allow them to take those catch-and-shoot jumpers.
Now a steal into the hands of Nembhard, and taking it all the way is Hudson. A 3 and then a 2 on a slam. A 5-0 run for Jalen Hudson.
Well, that's what happens after you knock down a three-point shot. Serve notice that the defenders do have to get out to you. Jalen Hudson able to use the shot fake, put it on the floor, and take it to the basket. Shot fake, as Hudson was open, so the defender, Chatou, had to rush out to him. And the little pump fake allowed Jalen Hudson to get to the rim. Cleavon Brown just checked in the game. That was the defender on that play.
Jalen Hudson did not have the offseason that he wanted. He hoped he was going to be an NBA talent, tested the waters. That did not happen, and then got off to a horrific start. I mean, he's too good of a shooter to be shooting 24% from behind the arc. He has picked up his play of late. His defense, which at times was absent a year ago, that has stepped up as well. So Jalen Hudson, a much different player and a key cog for Mike White off the bench.
Well, these Gators are really clicking. The defense has been there all season, but they have become better and better at the offensive end of the court as well. Knocking down some three-point shots. They force a lot of turnovers, and they're able to convert those into points. The Gators looking very much like an NCAA tourney team.
Gators #1 defensively as well in the SEC, and it shows right there. Allen off the turnover. Good ball movement into the hands of the freshman Locke, who's a sharp shooting freshman from Baltimore, Maryland.
Frustration play by Aaron Neesmith at the other end of the court, just trying to do too much. Seeing his team falling behind, he's trying to take it upon himself to make a play, and the Gators able to double up on him and knock the ball.
Shot clock at 3. Got to fire it up there off the mark. Out of the hand of Dante Bassett. Vandy quickly in the front court. Inside it goes. Kick out to Neesmith on a 3. You won't see him miss from that young man like that very often.
Man, and a great shooting opportunity. Ball coming inside out, getting to him.
At the corner of the backboard, Barry Booker, and then a turnover on Vanderbilt. So an inauspicious start thus far for the Commodores. Just 8 points with 12:35 to go. 4 turnovers now.
4 turnovers, just killing the Commodores. Gators aggressive defensively, got a lot of quickness out there on the court. Vanderbilt having trouble against that quickness. Commodores slipping into a 2-3 zone defense. Gators haven't seen a lot of zone this year because they are so good at this, knocking down three-point shots.
And that is one guy you need to close out on. Noah Locke, the freshman, shooting 40% from distance.
The Gators typically shoot teams right out of their zone defenses because you got three-point shooters all over the court for these Gators.
Locke's got a chance to break Anthony Roberson's freshman record for threes in the season. Needs 2 more to tie it. Foul on Kayvon Allen. Vanderbilt ball when we come back. The Gators getting hot from downtown.
Gators knocking down these three-point shots, which has led to opportunities to drive to the basket. They're playing great defense. Florida Gators rolling in Nashville.
On Tuesday, the number 7 team of the nation is back on the SEC network when Tennessee plays host to Mississippi State in Knoxville. That'll be at 9 Eastern time. Of course, Volunteers right before we signed on the air, surviving a trip to Oxford and the Pavilion and eking that one out. Tennessee trailed 41-34 in the second half of that game. Grant Williams, 21 points. I love the way people were talking about Tennessee as if they were falling apart. They've only lost 3 games all year, people. Come on.
Yeah, a lot of folks wish they could fall apart to this degree. 3 losses on the season.
No question. Well, Vanderbilt trying not to fall apart in this game early on. Florida, we know, can hit a lot of threes, and so far, Vanderbilt not doing a great job defending it.
Well, the Doors try to get into this 2-3 zone as they're trying to spread out. You see the Commodores getting out to that three-point line. There are 4 defenders right up or at the three-point line, but the Gators are able to put players all around the three-point line. It's hard to cover that much ground as the Gators get it inside that three-point line, and the defender, Joe Toy, just in no man's land. Can't defend both those guys, and the Gators get the open jumper. It is hard to play zone against these Gators.
That's not the only disturbing trend in this game for Vanderbilt. One of the things Bryce Drew talked about in these close losses that he has had too many turnovers, too many points off turnovers. The Gators already 7 points off of turnovers. In Florida right now in the midst of an 8-0 run.
That is one of the strengths of this Florida team. They don't turn that ball over, and they force quite a few and create points off those turnovers.
Levon Brown fouled on the slam attempt follow, so he'll go to the free throw line for a pair. Brown, a 6'8 junior by way of San Antonio, Texas.
Now, I gave Cleavon Brown some shooting tips on his free throws yesterday. Yeah, it didn't take.
Let's see if it takes here.
I was telling them, you got to get up on your toes. You got to get balance. You got to lean forward. If you watch his feet, I'd like to see his right foot. I'd like to see him get up on his toes on his right foot. That would tell me that he's on balance. And that foot comes right down as soon as he lets go of the basketball. He is not going to be a good free throw shooter with that technique.
To quote Mr. Miyagi, no such thing as bad student, only bad teacher.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now.
I wanted to see your reaction on that one. Yeah, over the back foul on Florida.
What does Miyagi know? Wax on.
Wax on, wax off. Breathe in, breathe out. And he helped Danny LaRusso to the All-Valley Championship title. Come on. Foul is on Dante Bassett. 11:20 to go first half. Anytime you can employ some Karate Kid references into a basketball game, you have to seize that opportunity.
It might become story time tonight here, Mike Morgan. To go to the bag of tricks here.
Well, Vandy, as we've talked about, has been competitive in so many of their games, and that's a big reason why. They can go on a run with the 3. That's Saban Lee, the leading scorer on this Commodore squad, the sophomore from Phoenix. Of course, his father was the former Florida State NFL running back. Nembhard on a 3, answers. Andrew Nembhard with a pretty stroke.
Saban Lee disconnected from Nembhard, trying to get through that rear screen. Nembhard able to pop back out beyond that three-point line. These Gators are deadly from 3.
Already 10 points for the freshman Nembhard.
I was telling you today, Mike, the arena that Memorial Gym reminds me most of in the SEC is the O'Connell Center. They've changed the name. Can't remember the name of the place now.
Exact Tech Arena.
There you go.
I keep up with all my sponsorships.
but very much like Memorial Gym as far as sight lines and the space that you have behind the basket. So I thought the Gators would come in here and shoot the ball well because of that.
So far, you are correct. Lee trying to shoot the ball well on a dunk attempt, but just ran out of verticality. There's no problem with that vertical leap. Jalen Hudson on the other end of the alley-oop. 7 points for Hudson.
The Gators putting on a clinic as far as transition basketball, unselfish basketball, moving it around, getting great shots with each possession.
Inside, there's a bucket for Shatu off the window and in.
Nice pass by Saban Lee to get Simi Shatu the easy bucket.
We were told we might see Shatu play a little more point guard in this game. Guy's got some handle even at 6'10".
That may be a trick that Bryce Drew holds until the second half. Don't give the Gators time to adjust to that if it's effective.
Commodores down by 11. Skip pass to Ryan. Finds Lee. Neesmith. Hanging, firing. Missed it off the window. Tapped around and scooped up by Vanderbilt. Extra possession for Lee on a three. Saban Lee beginning to heat up, and a timeout for Florida.
Nice hustle by the Commodores, getting after the offensive glass. Able to kick it out for the inside-out three-point shot. Saban Lee, the beneficiary on that trip. The hustle. Shatu got a hand on it. Cleavon Brown finally came up with it for the Commodores. And Saban Lee, the open jumper, as the Commodores have fought their way back into this game. Trailed by, was it 12, the largest lead early in this game, but the Commodores fighting their way back.
Saban Lee in a slump. For a while, he was really carrying this team as the freshmen were kind of sprouting their wings. But since then, the freshmen have had to lead the way, and Saban has struggled mightily. Those are not Saban Lee numbers. 5.5 points, 31% from the field. He's too good of a player.
Yeah, and he is more comfortable as an attacker, as a wing player, as opposed to playing that point guard position. I was talking to Mike White today about his excellent point guard, Andrew Nembhard, and how he is a guy who sees the game so well, is a true point guard, can create scoring opportunities for others. Saban Lee is not that type player. He's a true scorer and attacker, and a guy who is not that true point guard, but he's been forced into that duty.
Nembhard fouled. Nembhard on a post-up gets fouled from behind by Vanderbilt. And that'll be against Wetzel, his second foul. And actually give that foul to Saban Lee.
Saban was saying he got hooked and held.
It's going to be a deep two for Jalen Hudson. This is the best Jalen Hudson has looked in a while. 9 points here in the first half. Keep in mind, Vanderbilt has really had the upper hand against the Gators here of late. Mike White trying to get his first victory in this gym. A runner by Matt Ryan. Didn't know he had that in his repertoire. And doubled over in pain as Akaru, the sophomore out of Raleigh, North Carolina, might have taken a shot in the face.
Duke Warner, the Gator trainer, out there helping out Okuru, as it was friendly fire. The elbow for Dante Bassett.
Yeah, when you're back on the charter flight on the way home, you got to go, hey, look, Dante, I thought.
Come on, man.
I thought we were pals. We're wearing the same uniform.
Yeah, that's where it's hard being 6'3", 6'4". You're right at elbow level for those really big guys. It is a dangerous thing, which is why I was reluctant to go into the paint as a player.
Yeah, you knew where your real estate was. It was behind that arc.
Absolutely.
Hudson finally showing his human, but the Gators get another possession off the offensive rebound. Nembhard on a drive and kick. Hudson takes it all the way. Another offensive rebound. That time it's Bassett.
The Gators coming up with the offensive rebounds, playing great defense, forcing some turnovers, just getting more opportunities to score than these Commodores.
This Florida team is the second worst rebounding team in the SEC. This is not their strength. Whoa. Locke was trying to draw a foul, got no whistle, and put a dent in the backboard. Chateau out of control, but there to pick up the loose change with the fall was Brown.
Somehow it ended up in Cleavon Brown's hands. From our vantage point here below the floor at midcourt, we have no idea what happened there.
So here's Vandy on a 9-2 run. Locke wheels, fades, fires, and hits. Nifty move by the freshman.
These Gator perimeter players are so impressive, and they can get you from several different spots. Nembhard, Locke, Kayvon Allen, Jalen Hudson playing really well. Gators don't have much going in the paint. These perimeter players are excellent.
Catch and fire on a 3 off the mark by Ryan. Gators starting 3 freshmen, all of them logging significant minutes and all playing some good basketball of late during this 4-game winning streak. Coming up on the 6-minute mark of half number 1. Florida has controlled most of it. 29-21 our score. Nembhard scanning and now going to just throw one up from 14 and gets a friendly drop on the back iron.
Chateau just retreated too far. Nembhard able to get so close to the basket that it became an easy scoring opportunity for him.
12 points for the freshman Nembhard. He hasn't missed a shot yet. He's 4 for 4. Neesmith on a 3. Vanderbilt needs him to get going.
Hey, what, Nembhard had another game. He was 9 for 9 from the field against Alabama, scored 21 points. A perfect game in that one down in Tuscaloosa. Putting on a nice show on the road here in Nashville as well.
He does not play like a freshman. Nembhard just turned 19 a few weeks ago. Does not force his shot, makes very few bad decisions. Inside Brown, pivots, fires, and can't get the hook to go.
It's one and done on most occasions for the Commodores. These Gators doing a nice job screening out, getting the defensive boards.
And there's a turnover on Florida. Saban Lee off and running. Lee draws the foul. You knew Saban Lee was not going to be denied to the basket.
A rare opportunity for the Commodores to get some points off a turnover as they trail these Gators by 10 in Nashville.
(32-21) our score with 4:39 to go in the first half. Bryce Drew, head coach of Vanderbilt, wired tonight.
And we got to get some stops. All right? And fight. All right? We got to fight. How many team fouls we got? We got 4. All right? We got to fight on it. Get a stop on defense. All right? Get a stop on defense. On offense, let's get the ball moving. All right? Come on.
You know, Bryce Drew was very open with us about the fact this has by far and away been the most trying season for him, either as a player, assistant coach, head coach. This is foreign territory for him. He's done a lot of winning and not a lot of losing, and he's had success here at Vanderbilt, but this is just one of those years where a bad injury gets things started, then you start losing close games, and then it just snowballs and snowballs. But again, he has stayed optimistic, and he was quick to point out his players have stayed optimistic.
Well, there is no coach in the SEC better equipped to handle this situation than Bryce Drew. He is relentlessly positive, and this is a very difficult circumstance that he finds himself in with this young club, trying to lead them. And man, there have been a variety of circumstances that have all combined to put the Commodores in this situation where they're winless in conference play.
Young being the operative word. 8 freshmen and sophomores lead the way for Vanderbilt. So many of those guys will be back next year for the Commodores. Allen in trouble, kicks it back out. Almost a backcourt violation. Shot clock at 10. Inside it goes. This is Stokes, who just entered the game, and an offensive foul on Isaiah Stokes, the freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, who has really elevated his play of late. He's dropped 59 pounds since he arrived on campus. He went from 318 to 259. The pictures of him when he was at 318, you would have sworn he was playing right tackle for the Florida football team, but he has really dedicated himself and has given them quality minutes off the bench of late. Of course, his brother played for Tennessee and Conzo Martin a few years back when they went to the Sweet 16 at Tennessee.
6 turnovers now for the Commodores.
Gymnastics taking over the SEC network every Friday night of this week. Number 10 Kentucky and number 16 Missouri square off in Columbia at a special time of 6 Eastern. Then it's 12th ranked Auburn and 8th ranked Alabama from the Coleman Coliseum. Friday Night Heights, Stroso streaming live on the ESPN app. A Wiener grazes the iron for Allen. Vanderbilt trying to cut the lead for Florida into single digits. 3-ball set up for Wetzel. Good look, bad result, but an offensive rebound for Toy.
10-point lead now for the Gators. If the Commodores can get this down to 5 or 6 by halftime, they have to feel very good about things.
Be a great candidate to do it. Neesmith. He's missed his last couple from behind the arc. Nice pass to Stokes. Missed it, got it back. Hook shot, yes. Isaiah Stokes.
Stick-to-itiveness. Staying after the basketball, getting the lay-in for the Gators. Commodores down by 12 and in trouble on their home court.
I mentioned Florida's not a really big team. He can really help them on the front line. That'll help Vanderbilt. Little give and go. Wetzel, the 6'10 junior out of New Zealand, on the flush. Stokes posting up. Mid-range jumper. In and out. And flying for the rebound is Matthew Moyer. Commodores again trying to make it a single-digit game, and that'll work. Some instant productivity off the bench by Matthew Moyer.
The 30% three-point shooter stepping in the one. The Commodores fighting their way back in with a quick little 5-0 spurt.
Moyer, the transfer from Syracuse. 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Shot clock down to 7 for Allen. Kayvon, step back 3 on the way. He got it. Kayvon Allen.
Love the aggressiveness from Kayvon Allen in this situation where his team is facing a little run from Vanderbilt. The senior steps in, makes a play for his club, extends that lead back out to 10.
First field goal for Allen. Inside, kick out pass. Into the hands of Toy, and an offensive foul on Joe Toy.
Commodores trying to hang in there. Yanni Wetzel with the lay-in. Matt Moyer with the 3 as the Commodores try to hang in against the Gators. 10-point edge for Florida.
All right, we're going to see you at halftime here in just a few minutes. Dory, Jimmy, and the shooter. We'll show you the late drama in Oxford. Oh, an emotionally charged building where Tennessee and Ole Miss hooked up. Update what's going on in Athens with Auburn and Georgia, but first half so far, so good for Florida.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Jalen Hudson's patience this year, playing with joy again. This Florida team now, you better keep an eye on them.
Vandy's got to find a way to create more scoring opportunities and transition off turnovers any way they can.
We'll see you in a few minutes.
Guys, we look forward to that. 37-27 our score. Andrew Nembhard has been outstanding thus far.
He has knocked down every shot he's taken. Open three-pointer, running the court and running this club, setting up his teammates for shots as well as scoring himself. The freshman, Nembhard, outstanding point guard. Very bright future for him in Gainesville.
Boy, does he ever. He has been a coach's dream. That's the way Mike White describes that young man. Does everything you could possibly ask a coach on the floor. And a guy that really You know, they say point guards are born, not made, right, Barry Booker? I mean, he just has that sixth sense, great vision on the floor.
Yeah, a lot of guys can play point guard, but there is a difference between a guy who can play point guard and a guy who is a point guard. Andrew Nembhard falling into that latter category. Guy that creates for his teammates, great vision, great anticipation to find open players where other guards wouldn't.
And he
like
finds,
that pass.
yep, finds an open Johnson who has one rattle out. You were talking to me earlier before the game. You knew you were not put on this earth to be a point guard. You were put on this earth to shoot threes, be a perimeter player.
But I played point guard as a Commodore, and you know, did the best I could, but there were just situations where I'm not going to see things that a guy who has played point guard, who is a point guard, can't see.
And most point guards aren't going to shoot the three like one Barry Booker did. Isaiah Stokes making his presence known down low. The young man who has really upped his commitment level. I love a quote from his father. Early on in the year, he was kind of down, and everybody was pushing him about his weight. He said, look, I wouldn't play you either right now at your weight. You need to lose some weight, son. Get dedicated.
Isaiah took it to heart. He has become a player and a contributor for this Florida club.
5 on the shot clock. Lee, great take to the basket. 10-point game. Florida with a chance at the final shot here. Hudson on the runner. He was not playing for the final shot. He was playing for a quick bucket.
Great execution by Florida late in this first half, and for Vanderbilt with the shot clock winding down, Saban Lee able to get the penetration to the basket. Easy bucket, trim the lead to 10, but the Gators pushed it right back at him. Hudson ended up at the line.
Hudson, 64% at the line this year. On Tuesday, the number 7 team in the nation is back on the SEC network. Tennessee playing host to Mississippi State in Knoxville. That's a great matchup. Don't look now, Mississippi State, speaking of hot, they have hit their stride playing their best basketball of the year.
And Derry leading the way, and of course Tennessee this weekend going to host a squad from Lexington, Kentucky down in Knoxville. That will be exciting.
We got a great player of the year race this year in the SEC, and I would certainly put Quindary Weatherspoon in that final group.
He is making a case.
Leave. That'll be the final shot of the half, and it'll rim off. The Florida Gators impressive in the first half, shooting 54 from the field, 50 from downtown. Hudson and Nembhard leading the way with 24 points combined. 41-29 our halftime score as we send it to Dari, Pat, and Jimmy Dykes.
Gentlemen, we thank you. So a nice, smooth, rather easygoing first half for Florida, 41-28, or 9 on the road at Vandy, desperate to get a win in conference play and snap this ugly 15-game losing streak. But it's not looking to this point like it's going to happen. Pat, what's been the story for Florida so far?
Well, when you look at Florida, they're the #1 scoring defense in the SEC, allowing 63 points a game.
And they're scoring more offensively as well. Right?
They are, thanks to Jalen Hudson, who I know Jimmy's going to dive into that in a little bit. With Vanderbilt, though, at the break, I had said they got to find a way to generate points. They've got 1 point off of turnovers, okay, that they've been able to generate. Now, as good of a defensive team as Florida is, and when I talk about good, they're going to get up in you. They have the personnel to challenge you at the three-point line, holding teams at 30% shooting from the three-point line. So how can Vandy get off, whether it's second chance points, offense rebound, stick backs, get in transition? Listen, they've got guys that can get in transition, but it's generating points, easier points, scoring opportunities for them. How can they do that?
I'm very impressed with the coaching job Mike White has done, particularly with Jalen Hudson one-on-one, because this is a guy for most of the season. If Hudson wasn't making a three, he wasn't giving you anything. And Mike White continued to hold him accountable, work with him, be patient with him, set him down. And now you look at Jalen Hudson the last 5 games, Daria, he's got 12 points, I think, in the first half. He already has 3 steals. He's touching the game in a lot of ways. So now you look at this Florida team with Hudson playing, Kayvon playing, and Nembhard is I don't know. There's the Devon Dotson kid at Kansas is a terrific freshman point guard. This guy is right there on the national level in terms of a freshman point guard in a major conference in his production.
And we all said this team would be that much more dangerous when Jalen Hudson gets it going.
Yes.
He has started to get it going. And Florida right now, awfully scary. And Joe Lunardi and company certainly taking note. All right, how about this thriller in Oxford? Packed house, Kermit Davis and Ole Miss taking on Rick Barnes and Tennessee. Rebels have won 5 of their last 6, but have lost 6 straight against top 10 teams, and Terrence Davis making an impact in a big way off the steal.
Well, those guards for Ole Miss, they're fast offensively, they're quick defensively. They put constant pressure on you for 40 minutes. That building was hot.
Oh, what he did to Yves Pons.
The flying Frenchman.
Yeah.
Terrence Davis.
He did it to Yves Pons.
That's right.
Pardonnez-moi, monsieur.
I don't parlez-vous français.
That means get out my way, French.
There's another one, TD. High flying. 11 points in the first half as Bruce Stevens finds the flying Terrence Davis.
That play right there is what Ole Miss does wonderful. They open up the lane, and they've got so many guys backdoor cut to the basket.
Ball's down 4. Lamonte Turner hits the tough jump shot on the step back, and then boom.
He was big to start the second half and kind of got Tennessee on a roll.
Top of the 3 key. It's a 10-0 Vols lead. Turner had 17 in the game. They had the lead. And then Ole Miss guard play. Big Bree and Tyree slice into the basket.
That's one of the questions I have on Tennessee, staying in front of the basketball. They did a better job of it in the second half. Ole Miss just shredded them, though, the first 20 minutes.
Davis, corner 3, gives the Rebels the lead, 58-57. But then, mentioned Turner. How about him? Catching in the corner, driving baseline, giving Tennessee the lead back. It's back and forth. 13 second-half points for Turner. Tyree got a 3 to give Ole Miss the 2-point lead. He had 16, did Breen. Under 30 to go. Tennessee down 3. Bowden inside the lane, 3-point arc, takes the 2, hits it. Don't need a 3, right? Don't always need a 3. 1-point game now. Tyree at the line with a 1-and-1. Misses it. So here comes Tennessee with a chance to take the late lead. Who in the world do you want to have the basketball right now other than the player of the year from a year ago? Grant Williams, and that muscle, that strength in the lane hits the tough shot.
And there was no rim protectors there for Ole Miss.
And then on the other way, how about the positioning from Admiral Schofield? He draws the charge on Devontae Shuler. Kermit Davis has lost it, and by it, I mean his jacket, and a few pounds in sweat. But guys, was this was absolutely the right call, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's an easy call to make. And Kermit will see it on film. Just the emotions of the game, and you let the lead slip away at the end, calling for the block, but Schofield was set. To me, the shot by Grant Williams is the shot of the year so far in the SEC.
Well, Tennessee gets the win, 73-71. As they stay in the race for the top seed in the SEC tournament. Meanwhile, 12-point lead for the Florida Gators, up 41-29. We're back in a moment with more from around the SEC. Welcome back. Dari, Jimmy, Shuda. If you knew how bad Jimmy wanted to be on camera, folks. Auburn on the road at Georgia, and big-time 3 there. Jared Harper puts Auburn up by 7.
Almost as bad as Auburn wants to shoot threes.
Yes, that's
right.
That's what they
exactly
do.
Right. That is what they do, and they do it well.
Nicholas Claxton there inside, and the foul for Georgia, bringing them to within 5. They've lost their last 3 games, by the way, by a combined 6 points. They've been so close as Georgia. Harper 3 again. It makes it a 9-point game. Harper at this point 16 in the game, 3 of 4 from downtown, and then the wing, no good. But how about the follow from Horace Spencer and Auburn as a 10-point lead?
They got 50 at the half.
50. Now, that's not that unusual, is it? But on the road, sure. I guess take it, right?
You ever score 50 and a half?
I killed my son on the 2K the other day. All right, when we're all done in Nashville, you get the 3 of us for a full 30 minutes, recapping all 3 games in the league and looking ahead to Saturday's big-time showdown in Knoxville, Big Blue, and Tennessee. That's all coming up when we are finished between Florida and Vanderbilt. Jimmy talked about him. Jalen Hudson He's back. Enjoy the second half. We'll see you when it's over.
We gave them 3 shots on that one possession. We can't give them 3. All right? 1 shot's all they get. 1 shot's all they get. You got to protect our rim. All right? Protect it. Verticality. Get up. All right? Protect our rim.
Bryce Drew wired tonight. He would like to protect the rim and also would like to protect the basketball. Too many turnovers. 9 points for the Gators off of turnover. Back inside Memorial Gym. Mike Morgan with the sharpshooter Barry Booker, and Barry will start with their sharpshooting was the name of the game for the Florida Gators. 2 players in particular, Nembhard and Hudson.
Yes, those 2 guys, a very efficient first half for these Florida Gators. They're shooting 53% from the field. They've made half their 3-point shots. Nembhard and Hudson both rolling from the perimeter, knocking out those 3-point shot. Hudson 12 points in the first half. Nembhard 12 as well, as the Gators knocking down shots from all over the place. For Vanderbilt, Saban Lee, the only player that was very effective offensively in the first half. 9 points for him, 2 assists, as the Commodores just giving up too many second chance points, too many turnovers for the Doors. They'll have to perform better in those 2 areas to have a chance to win.
You see the top performers, and what you will not see on that list is the name of one Aaron Neesmith, the talented freshman who ordinarily very reliable scoring threat, 3-point threat. He only had 1 basket in that first half, and he's quickly firing here in the second. And then gets his own rebound off a long tap out. At some point, you get the feeling Neesmith is going to have to heat up for Vanderbilt.
If the Doors are going to have a chance in this game, they need that production from Neesmith.
A whistle as Keontae Johnson, the freshman, is fouled on the drive.
Matt Ryan looks like he jammed a thumb or finger in that scrum, trying to come up with the basketball. Looks like he is in a lot of pain. He's going to reach in his right hand after the basketball and just take a blow, as Keontae Johnson was raising his arms, taking the ball to the basket, as Ryan now is headed straight to the bench and then off to the locker room.
Meanwhile, the guy at the free throw line, a freshman, Keontae Johnson, out of Norfolk, Virginia. Here is a guy, freakish athletic ability, 6'5", but those long arms go all the way down to his knees. A great penetrator. Good-looking future for Keontae Johnson.
Keontae Johnson's been a difference maker for this Florida club this last month or so. His scoring and rebounding numbers have improved dramatically over these last few ball games.
Chateau draws a trip to the free throw line as he is fouled.
We heard we were going to see some Simi Chateau at point guard tonight. And Vanderbilt went into a spread court situation, gave Chateau the ball at the top of the key. He's able to create a scoring chance.
Young man out of Burlington, Ontario. And what a get he has been for Bryce Drew. I know the record obviously does not show that, but you can see incredible talent inside of Simi Chateau, a young man who certainly will have a chance at the next level in due time. Allen off a steal. Kayvon 3-on-2 for the Gators. Alley-oop pass, and there's the finish on the other end by Keontae Johnson.
It's another hustle play by the Gators. Vanderbilt got the offensive rebound, but Kayvon Allen able to get a hand on the basketball, get possession, and the Gators quickly turn that into 2 points at the other end.
Florida #1 defensively in the SEC this year as Chateau packs his bags early on a travel.
Look at Allen get his hand on it. Chateau just didn't get vision on the basketball, so Allen was able to knock it in the air to himself, and then sweet pass to his fellow senior, Jalen Hudson, the easy finish.
10th turnover on the Commodores already in this game. Something they're going to have to clean up if they have any chance of coming back down 15. Post up for Hayes, and he's fouled. Mismatch there as Neesmith was trying to front him. And the freshman picks up the foul. That's the first foul on Neesmith. Nemhard having trouble getting it in, barely beats the 5 count. Kayvon on a step back 2, and that's the largest lead for Florida, 17 points. Gators trying to win their 5th consecutive game in the Southeastern Conference. Timeout, Bryce Drew and Vanderbilt.
The Florida Gators running one of their slow developing sets on this out of bounds play. They were looking for the lob, didn't get that, but they did get Kayvon Allen, a step back jumper, and the Gators taking complete control of this game, up by 17 against the Commodores.
Champ Week, March 8th through the 17th on the networks of ESPN.
Now the SEC standings, Tennessee in a hard-fought game in Oxford improves to 13-2. So there is that 3-way tie at the top. Tigers, Wildcats, Volunteers. Then a logjam in the middle. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama. Auburn leading big right now against Georgia. All these teams certainly in the hunt. Most of them already with a good enough resume where you would assume they are going to the NCAA tournament. Good chance the SEC can repeat the performance of last year when the conference set a record with 8 NCAA tournament bids. Alabama with a big win in Columbia last night, helping bolster Avery Johnson and company's resume. And the question becomes, can there be maybe even a 9th team? One thing is for sure, the Florida Gators, with their recent success, feeling awfully good about their tournament chances, and they have continued that momentum here inside Memorial Gym.
Look a little farther down those SEC standings, the Arkansas Razorbacks and Texas A&M Aggies fighting to stay out of that Wednesday night SEC matchup at the SEC tournament, as Simisola Shatu got the hook shot down. Commodores really going to their high school All-American Shatu, trying to get him rolling here in the second half.
Remember, it was Shatu who was actually the higher rated recruit than Darius Garland. Shatu, a very athletic 6'10", 240-pound specimen, gets the ball here.
I'm looking at him, it looks like he has a knee bothering him or something. His gait doesn't look quite fluid as you would expect from an athlete at that level.
Shatu weaving in traffic. And a rebound brought down by Jalen Hudson. Vanderbilt just really struggling to get into a flow offensively tonight. Obviously, Florida's defense, #1 in the SEC, has had a lot to do with that. Fadeaway jumper rims out for Noah Locke.
Florida, they're so tough defensively and then just methodical at the offensive end of the court and make you play a lot of defense, scoring early in the shot clock or late in the shot clock.
See the numbers on Florida defensively this year. They're tough to score on. They're tough to hit threes on. And Vanderbilt has struggled in both those categories tonight. And when you struggle with that, I mean, Vanderbilt is not a great rebounding team. They're not a great defensive team. They have to be able to put some kind of run together offensively to beat a team like Florida right now.
The problem for the Commodores, really, they just don't have a playmaker. They don't have a guy who can create scoring opportunities for himself and his teammates. These guys just really have a tough time scoring in one-on-one situations, trying to create their own shots.
Right idea, pass just a little bit too high for Hayes down low. I mentioned Darius Garland. By the way, Darius Garland is down in Atlanta. He's already signed with an agent, so he's getting ready for the next chapter of his career, which of course will be the NBA. He's going to be a lottery pick. All you can do is wonder, what if Hometown product, could have been starring in this gym for Vanderbilt this year.
A lot of talk about Zion Williamson with his knee injury and whether he should continue to play college basketball. Different situation when your team is headed toward the NCAA tournament. You're going to have a chance to play for that national title. It's like in football, some players skip their bowl game, but you don't see players skip when they're playing in that playoff situation, the Final Four in college football.
Hudson off the mark. Vanderbilt down by 15 and a half to play here in Nashville. Lee around the screen. Kicks it into the corner to Toy. Toy on a drive, can't get it to go.
Man, great chances to score for the Commodores, just can't get the shots down. Vanderbilt only 3 points so far in this second half. Florida extending their edge.
Vanderbilt 1 for 7 from the field in this second half. Nemhard angles it down low, gets the kick back, and a 3 on the way. Silky smooth. Everything Nemhard does just looks effortless.
I love that set for Florida. Nemhard goes into the post, receives the pass, and then it's a screen, a ball screen for Nemhard while he's in the post. And the switch happened, and the big man's not used to guarding a three-point shooter. Nemhard able to get the open jumper.
And then the other freshman, Aaron Naismith, has been frustrated, and it showed on an offensive foul. This young man not frustrated.
Inside out, Nemhard leading the way for Florida. The point guard who can also score. The Gators up big over the Doors.
Gators up by 18 over the Commodores. Bryce Drew trying to fire up the troops.
All right, we got a battle down there. You guys got to communicate. You got to talk. Give them one shot. All right? Hold your line on defense. Guard your man. Take pride guarding your man. All right? Let's get stops and get out in transition.
Well, admittedly, this Florida team was a lot easier to guard a few weeks ago, Barry Booker. They were going through their own issues on offense, but they have found something here of late en route to this 4-game winning streak. And right now, Florida's a team that's a lot more potent.
They play cohesively. They help each other get shots. They understand where their shots are going to come from. And they got that facilitator in Andrew Nemhard, who's able to set up his teammates, get them good shots. He is hitting his own shots. These Gators are potent offensively. And this is the difference. The Gators shooting 53% from the field, 50% from three-point range. And the Commodores down in the 30s on both.
Hudson aggressive. Vanderbilt clears it. Commodores need to go on a run quickly. Inside Brown, back to Evans. And Evans hits the mid-range jumper. Maxwell Evans with his first points of the night.
Shot by Max, getting a little action here in the second half. Knocking out that jump shot. That's that set again with Nemhard in the post.
Lock in the corner. And a bump foul on Hayes. On Tuesday, the number 7 team of the nation is back on the SEC network when Tennessee plays host to Mississippi State in Knoxville. Boy, I want to see Grant Williams, Player of the Year candidate once again, one of the best post players in this league, against the tall trees of Mississippi State. They just, off the assembly line, one after the other, 6'10", 6'11", 6'10". They got a big front court.
I'll tell you what, man, the Vols have been so good in Knoxville, undefeated so far on Rocky Top.
An and one for Cleavon Brown.
Cleavon Brown, so athletic with his size and scoring ability inside. This is a game where he can really be effective. Nice job spinning his way to the basket, getting the 2. The Commodores, a little scoring burst here, trimming the lead down. Ooh.
Did he call bank on that?
You blaming that on the teacher? Come on, man.
Did you teach him to shoot his free throws off the window, Barry Booker?
No. Don't go through the window from the line, my man.
That is very un-Miyagi-like. Go back to a first half reference. A foul on Maxwell Evans trying to disrupt some action on the Florida offense.
The Commodores hanging around. Florida hasn't been able to shake free from the doors completely quite yet. 13 minutes left in the ball game. Coach Drew, Bryce Drew, still coaching his butt off.
Inside, Nembhard, look at that. Andrew Nembhard, not exactly known for his post game, but he is a tall point guard at 6'5".
And he is effective inside and continues the hot shooting. Has made all 6 of his field goal attempts tonight.
17 points for Nembhard. Evans on a 3. Offensive rebound, Commodores. And out of bounds to Florida.
Commodores continuing to give the effort, scrapping on the glass. The Gators behind Andrew Nembhard, just controlling the action tonight.
Bryce Drew just pleading for something to go Vanderbilt's way in this game. It has been all Florida so far tonight. Bryce Drew, of course, a college player at Valparaiso, and he and Mike White know a thing or two about each other. There's some history there. Saban Lee knows a thing or two about a steal and a bucket.
It's interesting chatting with Mike White today. My commentating mate here, Mike Morgan, asking, Mike, have you and Coach Drew crossed paths ever?
I was wondering if he had a sense of humor about that. I got a very stone-faced look in return.
Oh, mercy.
I'm used to getting that look quite a bit anyway, so it's only fitting. We'll get deeper into that story momentarily.
Oh, priceless.
Mike White, of course, former Ole Miss Rebel. Contemporary. Ooh, a nice dish and stuff for Matthew Moyer. Again, like you said, Vanderbilt just hanging around. 9-2 run here, and Florida will burn a timeout.
Commodores showing life. The fight is still there. Coach Drew urging his guys on. Saban Lee, the pick and score. Like the old man, the scoop and score, and then the nice pass inside. Matt Moyer. The Commodores fighting, hanging in there, down by 11.
Some SEC storylines. Of course, we already alluded to the Tennessee win tonight. Before that, LSU upset the Volunteers 82-80 in overtime, although I don't know if I would call that a huge upset. Kentucky surviving Arkansas 70-66. Tyler Hero put on a show, 29 points, a career high. Got the Tennessee-Kentucky rematch. That'll be Saturday at 2 Eastern time. That will be in Knoxville, a chance at revenge. The Wildcats won the first meeting 86-69. So here we are, 3-way tie at the top. You see the records and you see the remaining schedule. So I'll ask you, Barry Booker, who's got the best path to winning the SEC?
That's easy. The LSU Tigers. They have the tiebreakers over with wins on the road at Kentucky. They beat Tennessee in Baton Rouge, so LSU has that. If it's a tie, the tie goes to LSU to get the 1 seed at the tournament, and the Tigers don't face either the Cats or the Vols. So I really like LSU's chances to wind up, maybe they're 15-3, but at least a share of the SEC title.
I really like Will Wade's team right now. I've liked him since November, had him in the Disney tournament Thanksgiving week, and they looked good then, and they've just gotten better month to month. I think for a lot of people, it was just hard to believe that LSU is that good, but they are. Pretty good move there that time by Kavarius Hayes.
Boy, Kavarius Hayes has been such a big contributor What he has added since the injury to Keith Stone a month ago. These Gators just have not missed a beat. It's like getting better.
Feels like Hayes has been around since the Dwayne Shinsis era.
Yeah, he was not on that 89 team. I promise you that.
There's a three from behind the arc. It's Saban Lee.
Commodores trim it down to 10 points. See if the Gators can push away from Vanderbilt one last time.
Vanderbilt coming in as a team 32% from downtown. Hardly Vandy-like numbers, but you get the feeling they've got to keep shooting them to come back and win this game. Trip to the free throw line coming up for Jalen Hudson.
Saban Lee has been effective from distance tonight, knocking down another three-point shot for the Commodores. Saban now with 14 points.
Hudson, the former Virginia Tech Hokie, by way of Richmond, Virginia, 13 points tonight for the senior. Boy, do they need him to play at his A-game level. We saw that level from time to time a couple of years ago. He really shined, and last year a little bit of a step back. Early part of this season was brutal offensively. But if you get him going, combined with these freshmen, Kayvon Allen starting to heat up, you can see where Florida has a chance to not only get to the tournament, but maybe make some noise in the big dance. Nice bucket inside for Vanderbilt, getting some points in the paint.
Florida Gators also moving up the SEC standings. It's a big battle for that fourth place spot, which will be critical for any team that's hoping to advance at the SEC tournament to finish in the top four.
Yeah, you get that double bye, which is huge if you're going to have any chance at winning the event, which of course will be back here in the Music City. There you see the Florida resume, that net ranking, oh so important. Get used to that terminology. You're going to hear net, and you're going to hear Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. This would not be a Q1 win by any stretch, but it would make it 5 in a row. Certainly wouldn't hurt the other numbers and metrics that you see for Florida as well.
It would certainly fall into that bad loss category, which the Gators don't want to add to. South Carolina is your bad loss. You are having a very good year.
Yeah, South Carolina is a team that could also have a double bye. They could finish fourth in the conference. Allen trying to find, that's the second time he's tried to find Hayes down low, and each time the pass is wide of the mark.
Commodores now with a chance to get inside 10 points. See if that Gators defense can lock down. Look like the Gators are slipping into a matchup zone here. Now Neesmith on the court. This is not Vanderbilt's best shooting team. Saban Lee really the guy the Gators need to track.
He's drawing a lot of attention. Shot clock at 3. Out of bounds. Officials say Florida ball. He had one official, Mike Nance, say, I need a little help on this one. He asked for the help of Don Daly, who made the call.
I think this was a good one here. Matt Moyer crashing in there, and also is that Cleavon Brown, the two Commodores battling for that basketball.
Rebounding just about even so far today between these two teams. 10-point game. Allen in the trees. And a rebound off to the Commodores. A chance to cut the lead into single digits. Lee backs out. And we'll get a fresh set here with 20 on the shot clock.
The Gators continue to get quality scoring opportunities with each one of their possessions. Allen, a good shot inside, just couldn't get it home.
Shot clock to 7. And a legal screen that time called on Joe Toy. And that'll bring us to timeout. 7:57 to play. It's Florida 56, Vanderbilt 46.
They've got to go the length of the court with 2.5 left. Syke, long pass. Bill Jenkins, straight for the win. Go! Oh, my! Buffalo wins! Buffalo wins! Buffalo wins! Bryce Drew hit a three-pointer to win this game. 70-69.
It never gets old for Bryce Drew. It happened in 1998. That year, Valpo went on a magical run of the Sweet 16. That is a play Mike White just assumes, never sees, hears, or ever talks about. He jokingly said when somebody asked him about it earlier this year, he said, yeah, I hate Bryce Drew. Not really true. Both guys, super guys, like and respect one another. But Mike White was on that Ole Miss team, on the bench at the time, and still that play haunts him, as Ole Miss was a highly seeded team coming off a great regular season, but unable to win because of the shot, as it's forever referred to back at Valpo.
It was an outstanding Ole Miss club, that 98 team. The Rebels just heartbroken and have seen that clip more than they care to.
The name of the play, incidentally, drawn up by Bryce's pops, the legendary Homer Drew. Pacer was the name of the play.
Homer's in the house tonight. Saw him in the hallway at halftime, supporting his son Bryce here, and of course Scott Drew, head coach down at Baylor. You know, the SEC Big 12 challenge, we got to get Homer or we got to get Bryce and Scott matched up one of these years.
That'd be neat. I like that. You're thinking like a TV executive now. The battle of the Drews.
Yes, sir.
Over to up by 12, 7 minutes to go here at Memorial Gym in Nashville.
The Gators comfortable playing at any pace, or especially comfortable playing at a slower pace. So this is a situation now where limiting the number of possessions will be beneficial for Florida.
Levon Brown thought he had all ball, but it will be a trip to the line for the Gators. You know, we think of Vanderbilt. I mentioned that the three-point percentage, 32. That's obviously low for Vanderbilt. It's 12th in the league. Vanderbilt this year is at 205 three-pointers. Put that in perspective, Barry Booker in his career hit 246.
Yeah.
there's your stat. And you hit him at a high rate, over 40% during your illustrious career here. You know, when you're not doing a ton of other things well, when you're limited as a team, and they've been very limited without Darius Garland, you do rely heavily on the three, and this has just not been a great three-point shooting team.
This game is really hard if you don't shoot well. I don't see how guys do it. To be able to just knock down an open shot, it's you know, that simple. But you got to have teammates. You got to have guys who help you get those shots. Three-pointers are really difficult if you're trying to create them on your own. That's where Vanderbilt, lacking that playmaker, lacking a guy who can create those good scoring opportunities for the rest of these guys.
Inside. And a turnover again on Vanderbilt. And for the Commodores now, 13 turnovers on the night. And it's just very hard for Vanderbilt to overcome for the reasons we alluded to earlier.
Gators, another stellar defensive performance. Commodores held to only 46 points as we're down to just 6 minutes left in the ballgame.
Nemhard on a blow by. Had it blocked. Somehow has the presence of mind to get it to Hayes, and he is fouled. What a heads-up play by Nemhard.
And he makes so many of them. Just awareness, body control. The ball is knocked away from Nemhard, but he is able to recover it. He releases it, so it's not a travel. He's able to recover it, find a teammate, and it's not a foul you want to commit with Kavarius Hayes moving away from the basket, his back to the basket. He's trying to flip that up over his head. Matt Moyer bailed him out.
Virtually the only play that Nemhard could make that would be a positive one. Speaking of positivity, gymnastics taking over the SEC network every Friday night, and this week it's number 10 Kentucky, number 16 Mizzou, followed up by Auburn and Alabama from the Coleman Coliseum. Friday Night Heights also streaming live on the ESPN app. Mike Morgan, Barry Booker, great to be with you here in Nashville. Florida trying to make it 5 consecutive wins in the SEC. Vanderbilt trying to avoid becoming the first winless team in conference play. We had to get our research department up on this. Back when Georgia Tech was in the league in the 1950s.
Yeah, the 54 season, the last time an SEC team went winless in conference play. Commodores threatening to join that ignominious class.
Oh, nice. Barry Booker. How long you been sitting on that word? Waiting for the end of the year. I like it.
You know, I gave you anthracite last week. And
Yep.
ignominious this week. We try to educate the people.
Absolutely.
Here on the SEC Network.
No, that was a thing of beauty.
It's college basketball, you know.
Very nice.
How about this? You know, basic, you heard the term basic. These are not basic players. You know, basic is a pejorative term these days among the young people. You know, don't say your girlfriend is just a basic woman.
Well, I've put my foot in my mouth more than a few times, and even I haven't made that miscue. Oh, goodness. More relationship tips from Barry Booker coming up in the final stanza of this ball game.
More ways to not put your foot in your mouth. Speaking from experience.
Yes. That'll get you a night on the sofa. Hudson on a three off the inbounds. 17 points for Hudson. It's been the Hudson Nembhard show for the Gators now on a 9-1 run.
Strong shooting continues for the Gators. They continue to get good scoring opportunities, helping each other get shots.
Second effort by Chateau. 10 points for Chateau, but in a game like this, you need 20, 25 from that young man.
Watching Chateau, he doesn't have that lift the way he did early in the season. I don't want to speculate on what's going on with him, but it looks like there may be some lower leg situation going on with him.
Well, one thing for sure, having seen him in person, although it's been a while since we've had Vanderbilt, he doesn't seem to have the same explosiveness that we saw at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, there was earlier in the season, he became that playmaker for this team. They would put the ball in his hands and have him go create plays for himself in this team. But there was talk about the Commodores going to that strategy tonight, but we haven't seen much of it.
Tough shot off the glass and off the mark for Moyer. Gators in control as we come up on the 4-minute mark of this ball game. Nembhard on a stop and pop. Wow. Feathery touch, silky smooth moves, and 19 points for the freshman.
And the shots that Florida is getting, they're getting open shots, getting shots off passes frequently. The shots that Vanderbilt's getting, it's in traffic, contested. Gators playing that deep.
Nembhard on the foul, 3:59 to go. Nembhard offensively putting on a showcase tonight. This game featuring two of the relatively new coaches in the SEC. There has been a coaching infusion since 2015. Avery Johnson, Mike White, Rick Barnes, Ben Howland. Then in 2016, Bryce Drew taking over the Vanderbilt program. 2017, Will Wade, Conzo Martin, and then most recently, Tom Crean and Kermit Davis, who, by the way, would be my leading candidate for SEC Coach of the Year with the job that he has done. And, you know, you bring in great coaches and good things happen. You see the bids to the NCAA tournament from 5 to 3. That was the low point in 2016. Back up to 5, and now the last 2 years, 8. And I can't stress this enough, Barry. I just don't see any end in sight of the progress. This to me is not an aberration. There's no reason to believe that any of these programs are going anywhere, and I would think to the contrary, there's a couple of them that are having off years this year that would be back in contention next year.
And Bryce Drew, one of those situations, this Vanderbilt team is going to improve, no doubt, but 9 new coaches since 2015 to go along with Frank Martin, Bruce Pearl, John Calipari, and Mike Anderson. So an outstanding group of coaches, which has led to a high water mark for SEC basketball.
I know that Tom Crean has had a tough year this season in Athens, but I honestly believe next year Georgia will be a team to watch. Something to watch tonight has been the good hands play brought to you by Allstate.
Kayvon Allen with the good hands, batting the basketball to himself. And what a pass and delivery. I misidentified Keontae Johnson earlier when that play happened, but Keontae getting the big finish. Kayvon Allen with our Allstate good hands play of the day.
Shot clock at 3. Hayes had to fire it up there, did not know what the clock was down to, so a rare shot clock violation on the Gators. By the way, I mentioned Georgia. Right now, Georgia down by just 2, 69-67, with 5 and change to go in the second half in Athens.
The Bulldogs playing much better basketball of late. They took the Mississippi State Bulldogs down to the wire. Interesting game last Wednesday. They play that reminded me of Dwayne Shinsis and the Florida Gators. Debris thrown on the court and a technical foul on the home crowd, which happened here in this building against these Florida Gators. What is that? 30 years ago.
Goodness gracious.
Dwayne Shinsis, an incident over the summer, getting tennis balls thrown on the court at various SEC arenas, and technical foul called on Vanderbilt, my team. With 1 second left, we had possession of the ball, 1 second left. The Gators win that game. They win 11 more in a row to capture the '89 SEC title. Dwayne Shinsis and Clifford Lett with the SEC
Clifford
rings
Lett
that belong to Frank Cornett and me.
There's not that you're bitter.
No,
in the least.
no, I don't, you know. SEC title. I'm going to get another one of these days.
See, Dwayne Shinsis still tops all time and block shots for the Gators. 272 for the mullet man.
Late, great Dwayne Shinsis.
Shot clock at 1. And a whistle down low.
Ooh, it stays.
That'll go against Vanderbilt. And that'll be on Wetzel, his 3rd. So Florida back to the free throw line with 2:43 to play. Well, I've been waiting for either Vanderbilt or Georgia, and I keep saying they're going to get somebody quick soon. Yeah, we're running out of time.
Yes.
And I still believe one of those teams, and Georgia had the win over Vanderbilt way back in early January. I was actually in Athens to call that one. At the time, I mean, Vanderbilt certainly was still reeling over Darius Garland, but I never would have guessed 0-14. And I never would have guessed that Georgia, as close as they've been in some games this year, didn't have more wins. But, you know, to circle back to our previous talk about how the league has changed, 5, 6, 7 years ago, when the league was not nearly as deep and good, you could have had this type of down year and still strung together 5, 6 wins in league play. That's no longer in the SEC. It's too good. It's too deep.
And for Vanderbilt, they had the misfortune. You got Georgia, Texas A&M, and Mizzou, teams that are kind of struggling, having difficult years, and Vanderbilt had to play all 3 of those teams on the road.
As we welcome you back inside Memorial Gym here as we have our kind of periscopic view. One of the many unique things about Memorial Gym. Mike Morgan, Barry Booker. Let's talk about Florida, because they're really the story right now. This is going to be 5 in a row, and Mike White's team playing some terrific basketball. This is a team now. I don't think they're worried about the bubble anymore. I think they're a team that can make some noise in the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely. They defend so well. It is so difficult to score against this Gator team. And then they play together. They get good shots. So Florida, they got that home game coming up against LSU. The Gators, another good opportunity to put up another quality win and improve their standing for the NCAA tourney.
You see the remaining schedule for the Gators. Georgia Bulldogs at home. That'll be on Saturday. Then LSU. And then at Kentucky at Rupp Arena on March 9th. Back in the day, that used to be the one that determined the SEC championship. Yeah. It was Florida with Billy Donovan. It was Kentucky with Coach Cal. And now you've got LSU and you've got Tennessee. So many good teams, Mississippi State, so many good teams this year in the Southeastern Conference. I would maintain, too, even if the SEC gets 8, much like last year, to me it's a better 1 through 8.
Absolutely.
Because I think there are teams in that top 4, let's say, that can go deep, not just Sweet 16, but deeper.
Yeah, I think Tennessee, the minimum the Vols are going to do in the NCAA tournament is Elite 8. I think they're that good and that consistent that they are going to have a nice run in the NCAA tournament. And I'm just amazed at what Kentucky has become since I saw them in November, how much they have improved. They were a bad defensive team back in November, and they are among the best in the country at the defensive end right now. And of course, LSU with a lot of new faces, and even without Tremont Waters these last couple of ball games, the Tigers of LSU don't miss a beat. It looked like they got a great chance to be SEC champs.
They won that game without Tremont Waters and with Naz Reid going 0 for 9 from the field. That's a team that has a number of weapons when two of your top guys, kind of your headliners, are not really a factor, and yet other guys step up. Another offensive rebound for Florida and a chance to bleed a little more clock as the Gators in great shape to pick up their 9th conference win of the year and their 5th straight. Remember, it's a team that had lost 3 in a row, at times did not seem in sync. They have put it together with 3 freshmen in the starting lineup. Hayes down low, reverse layup for the senior, and that's the largest lead for Florida.
Mike White in his 4th year as head coach for the Florida Gators. The Gators are rolling, and this program continues to rise.
Don't forget, coming up next, Dari Noka, Jimmy Dykes, and Pat Bradley will have college basketball scores, highlights, and analysis. You know, it's Game of Thrones night here. We had some folks in their complete costume and gear, and I've only seen a little bit of the show. A lot of gratuitous violence and nudity.
Yes, I've seen some of that.
So you know Pat Bradley will be watching the final season coming up.
You know, Pat Bradley said something interesting last week about leadership, and one of the, I can't remember how he phrased it, but he was talking about one of the regrets that he had, or one of the things that he would try to do over again is exercise that leadership. And I think of that as well, you know, with this Vanderbilt team. This is an opportunity. I mean, 0-15 now in the SEC, but these guys are going to be friends and bonded for the rest of their lives. So how they conduct themselves this year and as they go on through their time here at Vanderbilt is going to be critical to those relationships, which, you know, not going to remember much about this 2019 season for Vanderbilt's sake. Hopefully we don't remember much about it, but those relationships will last the rest of these guys' lives.
Great point. There's a 3. Not the game that Aaron Neesmith had envisioned. He has struggled. He's not been a huge factor, just 6 points, but better days ahead for the very talented freshman from Charleston who was a teammate of Josiah James, the future Tennessee Volunteer.
Neesmith shaking his head after that one went in like, yeah, whatever. We talked about that tennis ball game, and the game went into overtime. That was one of those leadership chances for me, where the game went into overtime, our team just collapsed, and it was a chance for me to do something leadership-wise. Didn't get it done that day, and I can't do anything about it.
2 guys very familiar with one another, Mike White and Bryce Drew shaking hands. Barry Booker, your leadership tonight, outstanding. Let me just point that out. That wraps it up for our coverage of Florida Vanderbilt. For Barry Booker, Mike Morgan saying so long for now as we send you to the SEC Now studios. Dari Noka, Pat Bradley, Jimmy Dykes. Take it away, my friends.
All right, gentlemen, thank you much. This would, frankly, definitely. I know there were some out there that thought, perhaps, maybe. Gentlemen, thank you much. Easy win here for the Gators, 71-55, in a game that, frankly, was really never in question. There were some, though, that did think, perhaps, maybe Florida's won 4 in a row. They're feeling good. You look at the 0-14 conference record for Vandy. Maybe Vandy gets it, right? They're going to get one sometime. Why not tonight?
Got your mic on?
It's on now.
Can you hear? Can you hear this thing? Is this thing on?
If anybody heard me earlier, that's because you guys had yours on. But how about the gift? I literally repeated everything I said before. I actually listened to myself. Nobody else might, but I do.
You are sorry I didn't hand you the assist.
You are talented. That was beautiful.
The first of your career, which would be good.
Good point.
All right. Why was this so easy
talking about
for Florida?
Well, they've won 5 in a row now, and you go back and track the last 5 games for Jalen Hudson. This guy's now playing like Mike White thought he would get out of him all season long. He's doing more than knocking down threes. He's getting steals. He's active on the defensive end. His body language is good. He's got joy about him. This is a Florida team now that can put you in a mismatch because when Mike White puts Nembhard on the floor, Jalen Hudson on the floor, and Kayvon Allen on the floor, you got 3 guards that are playing at a high level. I talked about Nembhard, I think, at halftime. This kid is a tremendous freshman point guard, Dari. He does everything that I love for a point guard. He's got size, he's tough, he's competitive, he makes shots. Pat, he's extremely smart. Does he have that burst to always take the ball where the ball needs to go? You know, like a jet quick kid? No, but I'm telling you, this is a fantastic freshman point guard. Keep an eye on Florida right now. I know they're not going to probably finish in the top 4, but this is a team that can make it.
Oh, they could, though.
They could.
They could.
Okay. They may finish in the top 4, but they could also be there in the semifinal Saturday in the SEC tournament. They could make a little bit of a run in the NCAA tournament because of Hudson and Allen now are finally playing like Mike expected them to play all year.
Did this game go as you expected it to go, or what surprised you?
I think, sure, if you look at Florida, what they're able to do defensively, they only allow 55 points. That's on Vanderbilt's home floor. And the challenge with Vandy is you know that they want to shoot the 3. As a matter of fact, the game that I did earlier this year, everybody that went into the game shot a 3-point shot. And I'm talking their bigs, too, Wetzel and Cleavon Brown. So that's something they want to do. The personnel of Florida allows them to get out and challenge those 3-point shooters. So they did it from the defensive end. They got to the free throw line, 15 of 16 from the free throw line. And they make 8 threes on someone else's floor. So that everything was clicking for them. They didn't turn it over, which didn't result in any Vandy easy transition points. So you take care of business at times like this. I mean, that was just taking care of business. T.O.B. in someone else's facility.
Yeah, I'm going to go T.C.O.B. there, but that's all good.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that by BTO? Bachman-Turner Overdrive?
Oh, there you go, yeah.
But if you say it quick, it's like one word.
No, you're good.
Taking care of.
Yeah, Gators absolutely taking of business, according to the shooter. And Andrew Nembhard, the freshman Jimmy was talking about, standing by with our guys that called the game.
Convincing win for the Florida Gators, the 5th straight for Andrew Nembhard and company. Nembhard with a game-high 19 points on 7 of 8 shooting, 71-55 the final, and he joins us here tableside. 7 of 8. What happened on the miss? You got it blocked, right?
I thought it might have been a foul.
Oh, you wanted a whistle. I like it. A perfectionist. Andrew, you know, I don't know if you know what your coach says when you're not around, but it's all good. If your ears are burning, Mike White just praises not just your play, but everything from the neck up, your maturity, your ability to see the floor. Where does that come from? I know your dad's a coach. Where does that come from?
Probably my dad, my parents. I think I was always playing with the older kids when I was younger, so I had to mature quick. And I think it's just them. They brought it on me for sure.
How about your play tonight?
I think it was just a great team win. I think I got good shots off of our actions our coach ran, and players gave me shots, so I think it was good for sure.
Now, Andrew, I was a point guard in this league, and as a freshman, it was a nightmare. How are you able to adjust so quickly to the level of play that you're dealing with?
I think it's just my teammates. They encourage me, help me stay confident out there. And I know every night we got a real good point guard I'm facing, but I just try to stay confident and aggressive for sure.
What about this team right now? You hit that rough stretch. You lose 3 in a row, and you know there's a lot of chatter out there in Gainesville. People are used to postseason success, and people are getting worried. Are the Gators even going to be able to make the tournament? You're now in terrific shape with this 5-game winning streak. Where did you sense it turned for the team?
We had a team meeting after our Tennessee loss, and it just brought the group together a lot more, much more focused, much more driven on what we need to do. And we just need to listen to Coach White because he got all the answers for us.
That's a strong team meeting. It's worked out pretty well. I want to be invited to the next one. Andrew, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Best of luck the rest of the way. Great performance by the freshmen. Great performance by the Gators. They've won 5 in a row.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's
Talks like a coach.
Right?
Yeah, that's what you want your point guard to do.
No question about it. All right, so Florida right now is one of 4 teams that are sitting at 9-6. And we'll dive into this in SEC now here in just a couple of minutes. And again, that's tied for the 4 spot, which gets you the double bye in the conference tournament in Nashville that is unbelievably just 2 weeks away. The value of and one of the things, too, I think it's interesting in this tournament, we're going to go into this. There are not, as it appears now, necessarily going to be a lot of bubble teams, which might take a little bit of the drama away, but you still got teams that are playing for seeding in the NCAA tournament. So, you know, what's going to be a big storyline as we approach Nashville?
Well, I think you got a major one is there's going to be a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament at stake.
That's true.
And that's most likely going to come down between Kentucky and Tennessee. If LSU were to win,
what if LSU wins
if LSU were to win the tournament, they can move up to a 2. I don't think they've done enough overall to be a 1 seed, but there's so much at stake in the SEC tournament when you project those teams going to the NCAA tournament. Right. There can always be somebody that gets hot and get on a run. But I'm like you. I feel like there's going to be 8 teams solidly in, and that 9th you just have to really get hot and win the whole
Folks
thing.
around the country aren't going to be looking to see what's going on with our tournament, saying, oh, can my team get in or not? It feels like it's a pretty solid 8 right now.
I'll be looking at Alabama, Auburn, and Ole Miss, depending on what happens, but Alabama and Auburn, because they're on the tail end of that.
Yeah.
You know, you mentioned Mississippi State. It seems to have taken care of business, but Auburn's in a dogfight now. And, you know, Alabama had a big win in South Carolina, which would have been the story of the SEC tournament if South Carolina had won that game, because they had a path to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe that's one of those teams that they win 3 games there. Maybe they suddenly show up. You're right. All right, Georgia-Auburn, by the way, tied at 75 with 27 seconds left. We'll update that. And the big highlights, Tennessee's thriller with Ole Miss on SEC Now.